Hi everyone, this is Nina with Waffle Flower. Sketchbook is a 3x4 stamp set with matching dies. They are available separately or together as a combo in our cloud storage pocket. In this stamp set illustrated by Flora Waycott, we have a beautiful sketchbook and some daily objects in a creative life. I'm going to share 3 ways to use this stamp set today. First, we're going to use the stamp set as it is. I put the stamp set face down on my paper in a MISTI, positioned it to where I want it, and then on the outside of the lid, I taped the left corner to use as a reference to help me tape the stamp set down to the inside of the lid. It's a mouthful, but I hope the video shows what I'm doing. Using Antique Linen Distress ink, I stamped my first impression. It may seem very light through the camera, but I can see it pretty clearly in real life. Using my Kuretake Genzai Tambi watercolors and the lid as a palette, I quickly put down some colors on where the images are in up and down strokes. I get this idea from Mike Lowery, one of our illustrators. If you're like me, finding it very hard to paint loosely, this might be a way to help. I'm also trying to mix my neutral colors from the bright colors I chose for a harmonious look. The black was too dark, so I went back with some clean water and dabbed off the excess color. Once the watercolors are dried, I put my paper back into my MISTI and stamped the image again in VersaFine black ink. Cut it out with the A2 panel die, stamped my sentiment, which is from Bouquet Builder 2 stamp set, also in this release, and I finished my first card. For my second card, I'm going to share my twist on the partially inking technique. The drawings in the sketchbook image are on there as one stamp for stability, but I want to have blank pages and arrange the elements myself. You can use a small ink pad and carefully ink up the areas you want, or remove the ink from areas you don't want with a baby wipe, but I'm going to do a little masking. First, I used a small ink pad to ink up just the top of the sketchbook and stamp. This will be my reference line when I cut out my images. Then I used a piece of Post-it note, sticky side down, make sure that it will cover the entire sketchbook image, and then ink up the sketchbook stamp and stamp the image on top. I cut out my masks along the inside of the sketchbook image. I was especially careful when I was cutting out the lines on top, because that's where we'll match up the lines where we have stamped already. Then the rest of it is easy. Ink up your stamp and stamp. Remove the masks. Ta-da! I'm saving the masks for future uses. Did you notice that I kept my images to the upper part of my paper? That's because I'm going to turn it around and stamp the images again to have 2 sets of images to play with. I quickly colored my images using Copics, just getting the colors on there. One thing worth mentioning is that the drawings in the sketchbook can all be cut out individually using the matching dies. So if it's the small images that you want, you can stamp and cut them out very quickly. They're so much fun to play with. Don't they remind you of those fancy desktop photos? I tried putting the plants in the mug and think they will make cute accents on gift tags too. There is no sentiment in this set, so I used Hey Little Painter from Little Painter's stamp set, and I finished my second card. My third card is the easiest if you have a MISTI. I used the tube paint image to create a rainbow. I had an issue with my camera, so I lost a few minutes of my video, but basically I made a template to stamp the same image over and over again. I first stamped and cut once with my MISTI to create the template, and then used a matching die to cut out 11 blank die cuts from the leftover piece of my cardstock, putting each of the die cuts in the template to quickly stamp them all out. This is one of the most useful MISTI tricks we enjoy here in the Waffle Flower office. They're great for mass production. Once your small images are stamped and cut out, coloring them might be a hassle because they can be hard to hold on to. One of my favorite tricks is to put on a piece of double-sided tape, remove some of the stickiness with a dry towel so that it won't tear my paper, and then press the little cutouts down. They won't move when you color, but can be easily removed. I like to arrange my markers in order before coloring to save me some time. For my rainbow, I put on yellow and violet first as they're opposite on the color wheel, and then arrange the rest of the colors in a circle. Taping the pieces down temporarily with the washi tape helped me handle them as one piece. I wanted to make sure that my sentiment will fit in the circle and went ahead and stamped the sentiment first. But if I get to do this again, I will adhere the tube images down before I stamp the sentiment. See here, I have more of a gap in the bottom. But no worries, I used the heart from Grow Happiness stamp set to fill up the space, which adds more interest to my card too. I hope that you'll have fun with our sketchbook stamp set as much as we did. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.